I just released a video on this, the HMP electric scooter. Now, if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link to it in the description. I go over the specifications about how fast this thing goes, how much power it has, how it rides, and this video isn't about any of that. This is just an update because I have a bunch of new and exciting information about this. In the last video, I did not have the final retail price. I did not have the launch date, and I didn't have some of the very final production specifications. I have all of that now, and I'm excited to say that I have some extra special pricing for Area 13 viewers. First off, there are two color options and there are two battery options for the first production batch. Now, lead time wise, these are coming in late December. So the scooters are arriving at the end of this year. So there's a chance you might have one of these in your hands if you pre-order now, right before the end of the year, possibly early January. So the two color options are all black. Now I have a little bit of a red trim on the prototype here. I'll put the photo up on screen of the all black model. And then there is a black and white combo, which looks really clean as well. No major changes that I can see to any of the body work on the production bikes. I mentioned this is a Life P04 battery. This is a very long lifespan battery. They can go for many thousands of cycles. They're very temperature tolerant. So this is a really good lithium chemistry. They're a little bit heavier, but they're also safer. So it's a trade-off between these and lithium ions. But I think for the use case, basically they want you to be able to use this thing reliably every single day, day in, day out. This is a great choice that you don't usually see on electric bikes and even electric motorcycles. So this one has a 72 volt, 30 amp hour battery, and that is going to be the lower option. And then if you want a little bit more range, you can also go with a 72 volt, 45 amp hour. So 50% more range. That's awesome. And I'll get to the pricing on those in just a moment. So colors are options, battery sizes are options, and then there were a few things that were changed from the production bike. I put this on the dyno and confirmed that although they are going to call this a 3,000 watt nominal scooter, that this particular motor put out well over 5,000 watts. Now they have upgraded the motor for production bikes beyond that. So it is now rated for a peak power of 5,600 watts. And here's the kicker, it is liquid cooled. So no longer is this an air-cooled rear hub motor. They actually have a liquid cooling setup. That is a pretty sweet upgrade. That means this thing is going to be reliable. Guess what? That allowed them to also enable regen braking. That's not something I have here on the prototype. And the main reason not to do regen braking is because of heat, but that is no longer a concern. So production bikes not only have more power, a bigger battery option, but now they're going to be capable of better braking performance and potentially longer range because of the regen function being enabled. Some of you have probably seen the video I put out about the Iahora chopper and how much trouble I had registering that in California. None of those issues are going to be a problem with the HMP Lightning. People have asked if they can register these, how do they register them? So I've asked those questions and I have really, really good news. One, this is going to come with a VIN number. And not only is it just a stamped on VIN number, these are DOT, Department of Transportation, federally registered VIN numbers that are already in the system. For those of us in California, and some other states have asked for this, sometimes your Department of Motor Vehicles will look at this, do an inspection, and ask for an emissions label. Now that seems ridiculous to have an emissions label on something that's electric, but it's still in the rule books, still comes up. These are going to come with a CARB certificate. That's the emissions paperwork. So you can answer that question. So it's not going to be an issue. And finally, they're also going to come with an MC MCO, that's the manufacturer certificate of origin, so you can easily get these things registered. So between the VIN number, the carb certificate, and the MCO, these things should be a cakewalk to get registered, I think, in every single state. I'm sure that was a headache for them to go through that process and get all that extra paperwork, but I'm so glad they've already done it. Now I gotta talk about the prices. I told you in the previous video that they were hoping to launch this thing for under $3,000, and I thought if they could do that, one, that would be a surprise. Two, that would be absolutely amazing. And they kind of have. Let me start with the official retail prices. Unfortunately, due to recent tariffs being implemented, they did have to bump the retail price up a little bit. So officially speaking, but I got a deal coming for you, don't worry. It is gonna be $34.99 for the 72 volt, 30 amp hour battery option. So $3,500 for something that has well over 5,000 watts, big lithium phosphate battery, and a liquid cooled motor at that. I still think that is a bargain, and that is a really good deal. I mean, the amount of storage space that's in here, the practical usability of this thing, that is still really cheap, affordable, reliable transportation. If you go to the bigger battery option, that's gonna bump the price up to $43.99. So still way under the $5,000 price point, even when you account for shipping. The shipping is going to be $300 within the state of California, or it's gonna be $450 anywhere else in the US. So there is gonna be a shipping fee. There are gonna be some pickup options. So if you're in Northern California, picking up here at Area 13, or possibly one of HMP's locations, would be a way to cut out that shipping cost entirely. Just know that that is an option that's not fixed into the price. Now, I told you I had a special pre-order deal for Area 13 viewers, and I do. HMP was very kind to give me some special pricing so I could still honor that early under $3,000 price point they were hoping for. So if you want to pre-order one of these right now from Area 13, we can sell it to you for $2,999. Just squeaked under that $3,000 price point, but I think with the upgrades they've made, the paperwork this comes with, I really think that is a really good setup. So that's for the 30 amp hour battery. If you want to bump up to the 45 amp hour, then it's going to be $38.99 for the pre-order through us at Area 13. Now those shipping charges are still going to apply if we need to send this out somewhere, but we're going to waive all of those shipping fees if you come pick it up from us. And the last thing I got to mention is that if you do have one of these shipped to you, they are 100%, well, 99% assembled. You're not having to install the front wheel, the rear wheel, anything like that. The only thing you need to do is put the mirrors on and plug in the battery. That's it. Basically, no assembly required. There goes Blake again. So I'll put a link in the description. We're gonna have these on our website for pre-order. Again, you can only get this special pricing right now through Area 13. This is the HMP Lightning. And if you didn't see the previous video where we showed everything off in the dyno test, you can see that right here.